All right, so the big question is, should politicians ever talk about climate change? At least that's one of our questions. We have Joe Concha, media columnist for The Hill and Fox News contributor, and Mark Simone, WOR radio host extraordinaire. All right, guys, I'm going to have this discussion, but first I want you to see a little bit of a Senate exchange that happened today during a hearing. This is very cool. Take a listen.
Gas prices have gone down 40 cents in about the last month. Is that the Biden administration? Does the Biden administration get to take credit for that?
The demand is down not because of Joe Biden. The demand is down because people can't afford to fill their tank with gasoline. They can't afford $5 of gasoline. We are today 1 million barrels a day less production in the United States than we were in 2019 prior to the pandemic.
Awesome. Totally awesome. John Barrasso was on a complete roll. So your point, I don't know if you heard the Steve Koonin segment before. I mean, the guy's a theoretical physicist. He was Obama's chief scientist in the energy department. So your point is politicians should not talk about the climate.
No, they don't know it. Joe Biden doesn't know anything about climate change. First of all, he doesn't like green energy. 85 cars in his motorcade. Not one is an electric car.
Great point.
In his private life, he brags about driving a Corvette. He puts out video of him driving this Corvette. He doesn't know the first thing about science or climate change. Government's job, run the military, run the veterans hospitals, fix the roads, that kind of stuff. Not redo the universe or the climate.
See, Koonin, who is, as I said, theoretical physicist, knows a lot about this topic. Obama's chief scientist in the energy department, blah, blah, blah. Biden doesn't know, and he's not alone, there is a difference between climate change and bad weather.
Precisely.
Okay, that is a problem for this administration.
Yeah, you can't pick like this week in New York and say, see, there's climate change.
That's what they're doing.
It's odd.
That's what they're doing.
And then when it's, 20 below in January, it's like, actually, it's more about climate, not weather. I get it completely. You have a president here that's completely disconnected from the American people, and this administration for that matter. This is a great time to transition to green energy when people are paying $4.50 for gasoline, when you've taken away those oil leases off the Gulf, off of Alaska. You're not drilling in Alaska anymore. In Anwar, the Keystone Pipeline, obviously, 5 minutes after this president took office, let's cancel that. And that is the disconnect here, that you have something that's polling at 1% of voters say this is the most important issue facing us, below 13 other major issues, and this is what you're focusing on? The crisis is inflation. The crisis is at the gas pump. The crisis is at the border. It's not climate change, especially now when people don't know whether to fill up their tank or buy food.
You ever thought about this? Politics is about marketing and communications and messaging. The American public is not buying what Joe Biden is selling.
No, because he's selling inflation, crime, everything. I'm watching this old movie on TV, 1954, 7-Year Itch. It's about the most brutal heat wave in New York. Marilyn Monroe, that's why she was over the grate, because it was... Eisenhower didn't panic and close down all that gasoline production and everything.
Right.
It happens. They love this climate change because you can't blame them for the cause. They love an issue where they can't be blamed for the cause, unlike crime, oil, inflation. So they pick these natural disasters, climate change. But as you said, nobody cares about this.
That's the thing. The public's not buying his... He stands up there. By the way, the set that they put him on, it looked like something out of the Ukraine. It was just a horrible set. Horrible. No, it really looked like things, are always darkest before they turn completely black.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could have set him up there. But the point I'm thinking about is he's selling this stuff. And you look at every poll, liberal polls, conservative polls, whatever polls, nobody's out there believing it or buying it, Joe. And I think that's a big part of his problem. People are like going, huh? Really?
Yeah.
So what?
Larry, he came in as the second coming of George Washington, right? Like he's bringing trust back to the White House. And now you see, well, no, it's Putin's fault, even though inflation and gas prices have been going up for 18 months and Putin only invaded 5 months ago. So when you say Putin price hike, or you say it's greedy oil companies, you tend to lose your credibility with people like, Hispanics, or as the First Lady referred to them, the taco base, right? And he is polling in the teens now on approval with Hispanics. That is incredible for a Democratic president. 23% independents, 31% overall. And the problem is, it's only getting worse for him because as he gets older, people don't think he could turn this around. So it's not like Obama and Clinton, who actually had a rebound and won re-election because they were younger. People don't see it with Biden.
So on the Biden thing, Mark, he's being encouraged by his far left to go into what they call beast mode, declare everything a national. We have a national emergency on the climate. We have a national emergency on abortion. We have a national emergency on this and a national emergency on that. That's what they want him to do. You think he's going to try to pull these national emergencies, Defense Production Acts, force every car company to go green right away?
Absolutely. And if there was such a crisis, these people don't know how to fix it. They don't know anything. And they can't even explain the crisis. They tell you, oh, it could be 1 degree warmer in 100 years. That doesn't sound so bad. I'm a little chilly right now, actually.
In the studio. It's always cold in the studio.
Yeah.
We have
people pay to go to Florida because it's 30 degrees warmer. They pay for that.
Honestly, I didn't know I had nipples until about 5 minutes ago when I stepped into the studio. You're like Letterman. You keep it at like 54 in here. But I'm awake. I don't even need coffee in this place.
It's a very odd story, the Biden story, and it's getting stranger all the time. Joe
It is cold.
Concha and Mark Simone.
Thanks.